We're not going to get some 1 minute intro. We're not going to waste your time on that. I'm Andrew Dowd. That's Jordan Carter. We are live for No Just Dialogue. We are coming off an insane WrestleMania weekend in terms of coverage, in terms of what transpired. We're going to get into all of it. Tonight is draft night, but we'll get into that a little bit later because this is a wrestling podcast. There is a lot that is circulating around these parts. Jordan, obviously myself and you were in Las Vegas for WrestleMania. But before we get into everything that happened in Vegas and everything that happened on Monday Night Raw and then everything that happened on Wednesday Night Dynamite, I ask you, as I always do, how the hell are you?
Man, I am good. Recovering from some travel days and recovering from Vegas. Vegas was for my first time at Vegas, for my first time at WrestleMania. Man, it was an experience. I want to thank you for the invite.
Sure.
Appreciate you chilling, kicking it with you as always. It's great. But the atmosphere.
Circus Swim was a blast. A stadium swim. If you guys ever get a chance, go ahead and do that. Even for wrestling, but I mean, we were watching the playoff games and all that other stuff.
Oh, so we were chilling. It was a good time.
It was. If you guys and girls are ever going to Las Vegas, Fremont Street, I understand where a lot of people want to avoid it. It is very much off the strip. I wouldn't advise walking from Allegiant Stadium or the Strip to Circa, but I will say, or Fremont, but I will say it was a lot of fun. I am planning on going back just to attend a sporting event there and watch and gamble and everything else like that.
Yeah.
And it was a lot of fun. It really was. Vegas was a lot of fun. You don't sleep in Vegas. You never, you never really do. The time completely screwed me up like it does all the time, but it was a good time overall. WrestleMania was great. Great vibes. The MGM Grand, not great. I mean, the service there was fantastic. The speakeasy there was great, but not great for the wrestlers. We'll get into all that. It was just, Vegas. Listen, I know Vegas is spendy. We get that. It is. No matter what you do in Vegas, you're going to spend some dough. But Vegas is one of those few cities, and Nevada is a state where if you pick the right location, which Las Vegas is, you really transform the host city and state into WrestleMania. And that's what Vegas is. I know a lot of people don't like Vegas, but New Orleans, Las Vegas, I'll say Tampa, we're great. Dallas, we're great WrestleMania hosts in terms of a lot of things. Dallas is a little tough to get around because you can't stay in Dallas and then walk to Arlington. Don't do that either. That's not going to work. So,
God, no.
So I like the host city of Las Vegas. I understand it's not for everybody back to back. And then I understand the hotel prices are astronomical at times. But in terms of if you stay on the Strip, you could really get to WrestleMania pretty easily. All the events were kind of circled around downtown and the Strip. The same thing goes with New Orleans. New Orleans will have a great turnout when they do decide to go there for WrestleMania. 30 and 34 were fantastic. But let's bring in Juice. Juice watched WrestleMania at home. Juice, what's going on, man? How are you?
Oh, just hanging in there. Got in a little later than I'd like to, but the traffic for the NFL draft is psychotic right now. So
yes.
But yeah, I watched WrestleMania at home. It was a good time.
Yeah.
Looked like you guys had a fun little experience there. And I'm happy for Jordan finally getting to experience one of these things,
Dude,
so
it like when I tell you I've never seen that amount of people just congregate in one spot, all for wrestling. Like I will go ahead and say, like, man, doing this content stuff coming out, I've been allotted some really, really great things. I've been able to go to two of the biggest wrestling events in not even in a calendar year yet for me. I went to All In here in Texas.
9 months.
And then came up and going to WrestleMania.
You also went to LA.
I did go to LA too for Revolution. And then I'm going to Minnesota for SummerSlam. And I may be hitting New York for Double or Nothing. But this event, I mean, you say first, like, I implore everybody, if you have an opportunity to go to a WrestleMania, because it's different. Like, I see it now. I see why they say Mania is different. It truly is different. Like, it was an amazing time, dog. Amazing time.
It was. Vegas is always a vibe, depending on how you do it. I could see where a lot of people could go broke and will go broke, but if you do it right, you can. Listen, quickly, a lot of people have asked. I put out a post about the Talent Hotel, the MGM Grand. I thought it was absolutely absurd what those men and women were going through. Me and Jordan went there on Friday, and we were hanging out with some people and some talent and everything else like that, and some friends of mine. And I went to go grab a shot of espresso from Starbucks, and Bailey and Tyson Kidd, TJ Wilson were kind of like a couple feet from me. And I mean, they just mobbed them to the point where I was like, guys, can we disperse? Like, move. And then leaving the venue in the MGM, I asked the security guard. This was one of the one security guards that was actually very helpful. I said to him, I said, hey, where's the fastest exit that I can get out of here? And he actually walked me and Jordan out of the MGM Grand.
Wow.
Yeah.
So some of the wrestlers could have used that.
I wish the WWE superstars got that treatment. But again, I understand you all want an autograph or a picture, but these men and women are here to kind of unwind, get back to their hotel room, peace and quiet. It gets ugly.
Drew. It's nice to have the thought that, like, I'm sure you want an autograph. That's all good. And I know that the counterpoint is, well, it's so damn expensive. WWE provides meet and greets. Okay. Meet and greets are established, and you pay and you see them and you pay to see them. You don't go hound people that are just like you with, maybe more cachet than you at their hotel, at a bar, wherever. And I've been around. I'll give you an example. I was guilty something like this a long time ago. In New Orleans for WrestleMania, I was at, I believe, a casino, and I saw AJ Styles playing at a table. And I was like, I'm going to see if I can get a photo with him, But he said no politely, and I walked away. And that was it, Yeah. But throughout the years, you kind of realize, like, there's time and place for everything. Read the room, and a lot of those folks did not.
Yeah. Many, many years ago, I went to WrestleMania in Orlando. This was WrestleMania, I think it was 24, maybe. I don't recall what I think that's right. Okay. Shawn and Flair.
Yeah.
And we were at the bar, or it might have been later than this. I don't remember. But anyways, we were at the bar, and I was at the WWE Talent Hotel. And when you were there, you had to show a key, you had to scan the key, and there were security surroundings, and then you could get in.
And that's 08, which is crazy.
Right. So, and then Ric Flair is at the bar, and I pulled up a seat next to him, and very politely, I was like, Rick, can I buy you a drink? And he goes, no, son, nobody buys me a drink. I buy you a drink. And I said, okay.
Legend.
Right. But at that point, you started to understand that, like, these guys and girls don't want, and this is how many years ago? Almost 20.
Almost 20 years ago now. Yeah. And I've seen Flair at a bar or two in my day, which is real fun.
You told me that story. I like that.
They get bombarded daily, and they just go back to the hotel for some peace and quiet. No offense, I understand the prices are outrageous for meet and greets, but you guys and girls are not supposed to be there. Now, I understand that you are, and there's a way to go about this. When I was a 13-year-old kid or a 12-year-old kid, we would go to the Nassau Coliseum. There was a hotel across the street. It was the Marriott. There was a bar there called Champions. My father would stay with us. He didn't hate wrestling, but it wasn't like his thing. So he would stay with us because we're 13-year-old kids. We're trying to meet our idols or whatever you want to call them. And there's a way to go about it. And when I tell you that every one of those guys and girls took a picture and signed an autograph with me, they did. Because you want to know what I did? They would come in, they would check in, and I would wait, and I wouldn't make a scene. And I would say, Mr. Michaels, can I have an autograph and a picture? And he'd be like, sure, thanks for not making a scene. When you bombard these people, it's claustrophobic. They can't even move. And then they're trying to sign stuff and take pictures so that you disperse. It's not okay. People want a little R&R. They want to be left alone. And I understand that's the price of fame. Fine. There's a time and a place. And the hotel lobby and the hotel bars is not the time and place. Leave them alone. You want to observe from afar? Go for it.
I like that you said that the price of fame. The price of fame shouldn't cost my humanity. The price of fame shouldn't cost my privacy. The price of fame shouldn't cost me just being a human being. We talk our celebrity. On the flight back home, I was kicking it. Well, I ain't gonna say kicking. I was talking to Jeff Teague and B. Hen. If you know basketball, you know Jeff Teague is.
Sure.
Didn't ask for a picture. Because for me, we're at an airport. We're in the middle of TSA. Right. So, take your shoes off. Oh, hold on. Let me take this picture. No, I'm not going to do that. I think the problem is one that there's a weird relationship between fans and wrestlers where they feel like, well, no, you're not. They don't feel wrestling fans don't feel like wrestlers are uber celebrities, so they don't feel like they have to respect them as such.
It's also such
it's a weird sense of entitlement.
Yeah, it's a weird vibe sometimes. Like they see these guys and girls on television, and it's not like this with athletes. Like I'm talking about,
no, it's not
a guy
it's
like
not.
who pitches or Paul Skeens or like a David Wright.
They'll cower. Oh my God,
That's cower. It's like that they feel that they know these people personally. It's very, very strange. And I understand. I said this. I understand the meet and greets are outrageous, but that doesn't give you a right. That's not set by the talent. That doesn't give you a right to invade their personal lives and their personal space. You could ask Jordan. I don't mind crowds, and I'm no celebrity, but I do not seek them out. I do not. I take every which way to avoid crowds because people are just weird at times. They are just very, very weird.
Drew, I have a little question. Was there a reason why? Like, could there have been a better spot for WWE talent to
Mountain Blue
be located?
last year
I was just about to say that.
Yeah, so that seemed to me like a bizarre choice, especially when they already did it a year ago. Was there a reason why they couldn't do it again?
Well, I know they didn't want to go back to the Fountain Blue because I believe it was too far off the strip. And a lot of talent was like, we didn't. But you got to remember, if WWE was, in my opinion, if WWE and TKO were smart, they'd stay at the places that don't have a casino because then you cannot get into the hotel without a card. Now, here's the other thing, too. Circa, although very far off the beaten path, we couldn't go anywhere without showing an ID and a card. Now, that's because it's a 21-plus hotel, so the WWE talent would never stay there because some of them have their wives and kids and everything else like that. And I get it, but I do believe the MGM Grand was probably given to the WWE at no cost or gratis, which is free. So
yeah,
I think that's probably why they booked it. But what they could have done is MGM Grand could have put out a job application or an ad flyer or whatever online a month before WWE was supposed to come here for additional security. And they could have lined the lobbies. I mean, the MGM Grand is like a maze to get to your rooms, to get to this, to get to that. I mean, we were literally sitting next to LA Knight in a booth, and none of us, I was there with some talent as well, but none of us were getting up to be, and nobody was approaching LA Knight in the bar either, which was very interesting. As soon as he would try to make an escape to his room, they bombarded him. But when he was sitting, not doing anything, nobody bothered him. Nobody.
You know what bothers me though is just like, I don't know, you're saying like, well, they got the MGM on the cheap or like for free. Okay, but at the price of the talent and their security and privacy, how much money did they make over the weekend? You're telling me they couldn't just afford a better spot for that? I don't know why. It just seems weird that they wouldn't plan ahead of it. And unfortunately now it happened now to where, we have to do it because of this incident instead of planning ahead in case of the incident.
The thing is about, and this is one of the things where I will just say this is a TKO Endeavor type of deal. And the reason why I say that is because if you look at how the UFC talent are treated, it's starting to mirror how WWE talent are going to be treated. I'm just saying, like, UFC talent,
although wrestlers have been treated that way for a while. Look at the incident that happened at WrestleCon. You cannot escape bizarre weirdo fans, quote unquote fans. You can't escape it. It's tough.
There's this bubble that is going to pop, and I urge every promoter who does conventions, and I urge the WWE, I urge AEW as well. Get your security together. We are in such strange times right now, truthfully, with the fans and everybody wanting a piece of celebrities and streamers and everything else like this and influencers. It is a very, very strange time. People are not in their right minds. I don't know if it's drug or alcohol induced. I can't tell you if it's mental. And I feel bad for these people. But when they're causing scenes and you're affecting people's safety or willingness to or wanting to be in an event, it's a problem. It's a major, major problem. And we saw incidents at WrestleCon. We've seen incidents at concerts. We've seen incidents at wrestling. And you need to be aware of your surroundings. So teach your kids to be aware of their surroundings if you have them, because I'm telling you something. The bubble is, and I don't want it to, but the bubble is ready to burst with some sort of weirdo doing something he or
So
she
so
shouldn't.
so I was gonna say, so what in your expert opinion, what is the solution here? Is it just hire more security to go to a better hotel? Like, is it as simple as that, or is, to me, because I think more responsibility
Well, I
must
mean,
be on
there
the
was
fan.
two
I think that would
incidents.
help.
There was two incidents at WrestleCon. I mean, I think it was Vito had an incident, and then it was somebody
Elena Black.
touched. Yeah, Elena
Yeah.
Black. Like we can't do this. You can't. You need to be normal. And I know for some people that's very hard, but you need to be normal. And we need to hire more security. Yes, we need to have plans in place. I mean, the security when that thing happened with Vito, they were nowhere to be found.
They were
Nowhere to be
watching
found.
it happen.
I thought that was really weird how
Even
you're
the Punk situation, like, why aren't you guys moving in and separating the fan from the star? For me, I don't understand it. I did security detail for Taylor Swift, for Kiss, for Guns N' Roses, and when we were in New York at the Nassau Coliseum on Long Island, New York. And man, when I tell you, I searched every corner. I knew exit strategies. I would look around before I got the talent out of the car, onto their plane, everything else like that. You have to be better at this stuff. And you don't allow a certain amount of 6 feet, 6 feet,
Hey,
you know?
hey, he's not lying, because everywhere we would go, first place Andrew is looking at corners. I'm not joking. He's not lying on that. Yeah, you have head on a swivel. You have to.
Yeah. I mean, listen, I'm in this, like the space that we're in terms of like celebrities and stuff. I'm a nobody, but you never know. You never know who's going to try and take a shot at somebody. I'm not talking about a gunshot. I'm just talking about anything. It's very unfortunate what happened to CM Punk, Bailey, and AJ Lee. I understand the fan felt that he should be able to record, but at that point, you're invading somebody's personal space. Not to mention the fan put an arm around.
It's not even the like that. It's you're seeing two people have a moment. Let's just say, if you're going to film them, can't you just stand and film them? What makes you think you can walk closer to them, to where one of the people in a hug, a normal thing that every human on this planet does, has to push you away? Yeah. What the hell are you doing?
The other thing too here is that there's a lot of men and women who have been priced out of WrestleMania and everything else like that. And this was their yearly thing, vacations, whatever. And now they need to get a piece. They need to get a shot. They need to get a picture. They need to get an autograph so that they can feel like, hey, I had a good WrestleMania weekend. And listen, I'm not saying they need to change their pricing structure or their scaling because of these lunatics, but you have to realize this is what comes with the territory when you're trying to make something so elite. I'm not talking about all elite. I'm talking about like people attending this are the elitist of the elites. You're going to have these type of things happen. This is why go to a Super Bowl. If you ever can, I'm not being a dick. I'm not. But if you could ever afford to go to a Super Bowl, or you happen to be gifted tickets by your company or whatever, the security is the most insane security I have. And I've worked 12 of them. I've been to 5. It's worse than the airport, and it's done for a reason. Truthfully, the security to get through the Super Bowl is worse than the airport. You go through 5 different screenings. Up your security, WWE, up your security around the board, because I don't want an incident to happen, because I believe we're getting closer and closer to one, truthfully.
And especially whenever you see that, they're going to run Saudi next year, it's like fans, this for domestic fans, this could have been our last chance to 2028. And now you're making this imprint on, wow, the fans are really doing a great job. Like, you think WWE wants to bring? Do you think that some of the talent's going to want to come back?
I will tell you that
place like that,
Saudi Arabia will be one of the safest. I'm talking about locations that they'll ever get, that they continue to go to.
100%.
That's what I want to bring up, is that because Andrew, you brought it up perfectly. Some fans are already priced out, so they went for everything outside of Mania.
Yeah, right? Some people go to Mania and they don't go to Mania.
And then you have the advent of next year's not in America. Yep. So some of these people, this is it.
Yeah.
This is it.
And if you're doing a WrestleCon and you're doing an access or whatever you're going to do for SummerSlam here in Minnesota, I urge every promoter and I urge every person at TKO and WWE to make sure that your security is top tier. And the hotels here will not let you in without a card. That's how it is. But I'm just letting you know, I know Vegas is a different animal. The casinos, they don't want to turn away the money. We spent a lot of time on this. We're going to move on, but you're right.
What about Casa Baydala? Is there a card there?
You try and get in here, brother. God bless you. You know.
Well, if you're escorting me in, I hope I get in.
Oh yeah, if there's
come on,
some rando tries to show up to my house, there's my baby's.
Yeah, good luck getting in. Good luck getting out is the real problem.
Yeah. You can't even get in.
Can't even get in. But I mean, listen, I pray for the safety of the talent. Even the workers. I mean, I felt bad for TJ. I felt terrible for him, you know, and he doesn't need me to be like, guys, move. I mean, TJ can handle his own, but I just thought to myself, man, this is just awful. Just awful. So do better all around. And I understand that it was probably something that was business very on the up and up for WWE and TKO on the plus side of the sheet.
Sure.
Man, at what cost? At what cost?
Yeah. What do they value PR? You know, especially when they tout things for good PR. What do they say about the negative PR? Oh, well, we don't. That was an isolated incident. We don't know.
Well, and they'll sit back and be like, "Oh, it's MGM's fault." Like if they'll.
Yeah.
Well, to transition and to kind of keep on Mania as we move off of this, because we have spent a lot of time on this. There was one thing I was wondering that I want to ask you, Juice.
Oh, sure.
How did Mania come off on TV? Because there's a couple of things that I'm hearing that being there felt differently.
Yeah, talk about night one, because me and Jordan were there. I mean, when you're in the building, the commercials, they used to run them all the time anyway, in between matches. And it's like for the building commercials, you know what I'm talking about, Juice. But I think for this WrestleMania, it almost felt like we get a very long entrance. This is how it felt in the building. A very long entrance, elaborate, and then all of a sudden the bell would ring, and then the bell would ring, and then it was ads. How did it feel on television on Saturday night?
Yeah.
So for Saturday night, now I don't know. Are they running? Were they running any like build up promos to some of these matches in house?
Yeah.
In the building they were?
Yes.
Okay, now so I'm watching it and it just came off like there would be specifically the opening, like the first matches on ESPN, it seemed like an elongated time before the actual ESPN Unlimited would kick to a match. It was like almost 7:05, 7:06, like 5 or 6 minutes after they had concluded to switch over before they did it again. And I know it's not the same as like the AEW pay-per-view bleeding in because it's all one.
All right, hold on a second. I think that that right then and there, what you're talking about, traditional pay-per-view, everyone and myself included believed that it was dead and should be dead. I'm going to tell you this right now. Bring the motherfucker back. Because I hate this. I hate why Sunday was when you're sitting there with 3 minutes, and I'm sorry for the kids who are watching that. I said I'm entitled to one. The 3 minute ads all the time.
I had 4 minute ads. I don't know what.
Listen, cheapo, buy a better pack. I'm only kidding. It was probably 4. You're probably right. Yeah, there's no tiers on Unlimited, so I mean, it is what it is. So
that's where I was.
Yeah, I mean, but think about this. We're paying. I have a bundle, and I think it's $44 a month because YouTube TV still doesn't have it for whatever reason. They tell you it's infrastructure. Give me a break. It's not infrastructure. You have Sunday Ticket. I'm not dumb. But I mean, to some people I am. But anyways, no, I'm a bald. What was it? Bald asshole. No, that's
Larry David. Well, still though, same thing.
So I don't like this, and I understand they got to make their money, but I mean, I think you could do this tastefully. You could sell ad space and commercials tastefully, you know. And if you want to do this, do it. But I mean, I don't know. Maybe front load the show with these suckers and then don't have them in the back. I don't know what the right way of it, but it felt on Sunday. So, I can tell you, I was like, I have 3 minutes.
Somebody say 3 minutes, but the craziest part is even with that, both nights were concluded pretty damn early, which is crazy to me, but it makes me think, imagine if they had the pay-per-view model, or it was back when, it was one night where things seemed more streamlined, or you had some segments. You could have fit 1 to 2 more matches on each night and still got out of there at a reasonable time.
I think you take away from the vibes though, like at home, right? Like me and my son were watching night 2, and night one, I was FaceTiming with him and stuff like that, and he was excited. But night two, you could tell like there's almost too much buffer.
Like a ton of buffer, and not Michael Buffer.
Right, a great guy. You would get. You want to air the promo package for a minute 15 or a minute 35.
But that was my problem. It was all ads.
Then you're going to throw a 3-minute and 30-second ad on top of it. So we got 5 minutes between bell to bell or entrance to entrance. I was looking at Jackson and I was like, he was like, I really like that match and or this and that. And then it was like, we had a good conversation for about a minute and a half. And then we were sitting there like, all right, what do you want to do? Like, not, people are paying $40. Some people are paying 50. What are we doing?
It just seemed like they were, lack of a better term, edging the fans. And it's just like, what are we doing? Can't we just get to the matches quicker than we would, I get the ads, but can't you space them out for a minute per instead of 4 minutes or 3 minutes every single time? It's like the hype for each match got lessened because of the intros or the ads.
Yeah.
Let me ask you guys something though. This is because you brought up a really good something of bring back the pay-per-view volume. I just saw the numbers for WrestleMania, 1.6 something million, both nights, right?
Sure. On linear ESPN, or ESPN 2 and ESPN proper.
Yeah. Yes.
Okay.
Does that happen with the normal pay-per-view model? Like, say everything's the same. They still got the ESPN deal. You can still get the first hour for free on ESPN, all that. Do people still stay locked in like that? I
think TKO and Endeavor, the debt that they have from acquiring this company, okay, WWE, they're trying to, look at the ring. The ring had fans' names all along the side of the ring. Every corner had fans' names.
So did Raw at MSG, to be fair.
Okay, but at the end of the day, like they are pimping every avenue they can, and that's.
Oh no, I know. I'm just saying that it wasn't just WrestleMania. They have been doing this, and I think they'll continue to.
I'm not going to hate it because at the end of the day, if people are going to pay it and you can make some money, go make your money, go make it. But what I'm trying to explain to you, at what point does it come off where it's so? I don't know. It just seems too much. Seems disingenuous. Like just give us what we paid here for. Like the UFC stuff. The UFC pay-per-views on Paramount Plus are not even this bad. They're not.
You know what this feels like, and I'm not going to get into the political realm, so this isn't political, but this feels like the UFC 250 event. If you are a diehard UFC fan, you're like, just give us the fights. We don't need all this pomp and circumstance. We don't need all this.
Making it a 2-day event, so
but that's what I'm saying. That's the thing about it, like where I'm making the correlation. It's like, just give us the wrestling. We don't need all. If you build it, they will come. They will, like the fans will come. People will tune in. We don't need all this extra. The I don't know when the dollar became more important than the fan because it used to. But the fan came with the dollar.
Well, without the fan, you don't make the dollar. But what I'm saying to you is that, like, I think the old regime had a good model of making sure that you appealed to the families and everything else like that. So you moved out the beer drinkers and the college kids and everything else like that. You pushed them further back, which is fine. And you got the families in the front row. You got the families in the good seats. And that's what you want to appeal to. And they were affordable. And then you still have those people who wanted to go and who sat in the upper deck or the 200 level or whatever. The old regime did a good job of making sure that they were pricing for everybody. And again, for all the shit that Vince got and gets, I get it. But man, there was never any ads on the mat. There were never all this hoopla and hubbub with the commercials, even on WWE or the network and Peacock and everything else like that. Like it's a lot. And I understand it, brother. If they're going to keep spending the money, take it. I get it. And I understand what they're trying to do. But for me, I think, nobody, and I think Ariel Helwani said this, and I think he was spot on. Nobody talked about Zuffa with UFC because they just let UFC be UFC. Everybody is talking about TKO with WWE and how they're ruining the product. That's a bad look.
When the guy you hate makes a good.
Well, it's funny because
I like Ariel Helwani, good dude.
Zuffa, which I thought was Zuffa for the longest time. Where the hell was I when that pronunciation got announced? But they can only do so much with the UFC. when we find out that TKO is influencing stories and suggesting things to happen, and then we find out that said talent said, I'm good.
Yeah.
You know,
Like, I'm out. Then what the hell?
I wanted to bring that up.
It's not like Zuffa is saying, hey, I want this fight to happen. You know, like it's but even so, that's only the suggestion of the fight, not the outcome of the fight.
Yeah.
We had two, WrestleMania for me, I'll just go ahead and give my night one could have been better. Night two, the later half was better than the front half.
Night two obliterated night one, in my opinion.
But I do want to kind of touch on that really quickly, what you said, because there's two stories that came out of WrestleMania that felt like there was something bigger supposed to happen. And that's obviously the Randy Cody match and then Roman and Punk.
Well, I'm glad you brought this up because I want to say something too.
Go ahead.
I put out, first of all, Stone Cold Steve Austin was at WrestleMania Sunday. Okay.
He was at Bloodsport too.
Yeah. I put out I think it was a gift of Austin going like this and riding away.
You mean a GIF, not a gift?
Whatever the hell it is. GIF, gift, SIF, whiff, if. And people were like, oh, Austin's showing up. And I was like, no, I'm telling you, he's not showing up to this show. And I don't know what the reason was. Because
Andrew loves being vague, by the way.
I do. Because it gets people talking, gets people going. But anyways, he was scheduled to do something.
I was surprised he didn't do anything.
It seemed like he was, but you know what? Steve's the type of guy who, if he doesn't like where it's going or that he doesn't see the point, he's not doing it. And he's said that before.
Yeah, he did that note too. I
know a lot of people were upset that Steve wasn't on the show, but I mean, he was backstage. I can tell you that right now. But I don't think there was anything more supposed to happen with Randy and Cody. I think they scrapped the McAfee Jelly Roll stuff because they had to. They had to.
Well, you mean for Backlash, because they were still heavily involved in the match. It just happened kind of before the match.
They couldn't just cut the legs out from both those guys after they so heavily involved them the weeks leading up to it. Now, Pat kind of teased that he wasn't the only one, and then he was the only one. So maybe was there something that fell through? I don't know. What I can tell you is that it seems as if Pat and Jelly Roll both took a landscape. They took a quick dip, and they were like, boy, this water is freezing. They don't want us here. And I don't think we should work a tag match. And I think that's where we're at right now.
I honestly give them a lot of credit for being fans of the product already, and like growing up and seeing how wrestling works. And they probably go, well, if we saw something we didn't like, we'd definitely voice our opinion. And if they're kind of being shoehorned in by other people, even if they're going to get a great payday, they're going to speak up and say, you know what, maybe this isn't the right call. And I'm sure they love to be involved with it, but if it doesn't make sense and they can step away and no one's going to, chastise them if they want to put the spotlight on the wrestlers, more power to them. And I like if that's how it goes. Now we'll see what happens at Backlash. I'm very curious with that.
Well, and here's the other thing, right? Pat McAfee, I believe his contract is done with WWE. And I think that this was TKO and Endeavor looking at it and they're like, paying this guy a lot of money. He does some things for us here, but let's at least get something out of him. So let's put him on WrestleMania. He could do this. He could be involved in the main event. And then maybe he'll want to do Backlash. And then we can call it, thanks, Pat. We appreciate it. And Pat seemed like he had any interest in re-upping or doing something new with the WWE TKO. So I think that's why this all fell apart, truthfully. Jordan?
This sounds like, I'm a big sports guy, right? TKO, Endeavor. Are you going to be Arthur Blank or are you going to be Jerry Jones? In the sense of, are you going to let your team be your team or are you going to try to be involved in every single step of the way? Because if you're going to be involved in every single step of the way, sure, you can be, you're called America's team, but you ain't been to the playoffs in years and you ain't got, you know what I'm saying? That says a lot right there to me as well.
Nor did he make any appearances anywhere else besides the stuff that he was promoting, which was his own live action and his own new movies. So please, everybody can miss me online with that there's no friction between The Rock and Triple H and what's going on, because there obviously is. This man is on the board. I mean, you saw Ari, you saw Mark Shapiro, you saw Nick Khan. They were all over WrestleMania. So you can miss me with this shit. You can tout the numbers and they were good. Nope. Anybody with a working brain wasn't going to sit back and tell you that WrestleMania wasn't going to shatter numbers and have great revenue and put over 100,000 people in there. I said it was going to have over 95,000. Came to fruition. I said they weren't panicked. Did they want to sell out the building? Sure, but I didn't say they were panicked. John Cena's involvement was not a panic. But for all these people who want to like claim that they were on top of it, this was always going to be the situation. They were always going to do well because that's the juggernaut that they are. And a lot of people are sitting back about the Nashville thing saying, oh, well, AEW should run Nashville. You really think that WWE or Nashville is going to screw up or screw the pooch with WrestleMania coming there and allow AEW to run that stadium? Come on, guys. Come on. I'm not saying that AEW can't run a show in Tennessee, but it's
AEW will run an established place they've run before, whether that's Chicago or Texas or New York or Orlando, something like that, or Jacksonville, and make it a huge, I don't know, they could figure something out. Sure. And we suggested this back way in September of last year when they announced Mania in Saudi. It's like, hey, WrestleCon's probably not going to go over there. Let's get AEW to head a show, and then you can do the same WrestleMania stuff you normally do with your WrestleCons and apply it to that show and have an incredible success for everybody involved.
Not to mention Juice, Jordan. I mean, do we really, people like go to New Orleans? They could do the funniest thing. The Travel and Tourism Board of New Orleans is not going to like even entertain this because they are guaranteed a WrestleMania. And they
real life businesses don't troll like that. Like it's so ridiculous to assume that.
The government of Cleveland was just begging Nick Khan, hey,
yeah, right.
Can we get a WrestleMania, please?
Well, now that they're going to get a dome on their stadium, which is absurd, by the way, if you're a football fan. It's like
Nashville, who has already been awarded a WrestleMania, and New Orleans,
they're going to throw that away.
Yeah, screw it. Bring come on. I mean, listen, I want AEW to succeed like nobody else's business. I hope they do. It's great for the industry, but they're not going to screw up the cities and the Travel and Tourism.
They know where they'll do. I'm sure they're getting ready to lock in.
There are enough arenas. One, and then two, we're forgetting Tony Khan's got enough money. Okay. So they're
not doing it for the money. They're doing it for the exposure to make a good thing. They're there for the wrestling business.
No, that's what I'm saying. So there's enough.
Khan could write a check and hand it to the Travel and Tourism Board, and he would be there in a minute. It's just the Travel and Tourism Board's not going to do it. They're not going to create the relationship. This will be the fourth or third WrestleMania that they've hosted in 15 years. They're not doing it.
And that's my point. AEW will be fine. Like he's got enough money to where he can go where he needs to go, and there are enough arenas that will accept him. Okay, sure. Cool. They didn't get to Allegiant. Who do you think runs T-Mobile when they're there?
And again, AEW should do some sort of super show with New Japan, CMLL, whomever else you can get. Have all the indies there as well, and they can make a weekend out of it. I think it's a great idea. And I can tell you what, I think Tony's thinking about it. Truthfully, from the discussions that I've had with him and some other people, I don't think it's not off the table, but I don't think you're going to see them pop up in New Orleans, Indy, or Nashville, Tennessee. It's just not going to happen. I want to say something else too, because a lot of people online are like, WrestleMania 43 is going to, why would they care about the Masters? They could run neck and neck with the Masters. No, they're not. Why would they do that? ESPN has full coverage. Besides, I understand that CBS has Saturday and Sunday, but ESPN is the main distributor and they bring everything there for the Masters. They're not going to they're not going to chop off their nose and have half of them at WrestleMania in Saudi Arabia. What's wrong with you guys?
I thought ESPN had moving day on Saturday. I thought they had that. I thought CBS maybe only carried. Well, I could be wrong, but either way, Saturday or Sunday, it's the whole weekend. People care about the Masters from Thursday on. So they're going to do what they want to do, and WWE knows that, and they'll take care of it.
There is a giant reason why WWE waited this year for the Masters and the Final Four to be concluded. They don't want to do that. They want all eyeballs on them. They want all revenue on them. They want all coverage on them. They are not going to split the coverage with the Masters. Could they do it with the Final Four? Maybe. Do they give a shit about Easter Sunday? God forgive me. No, they don't. They don't.
They did it last year.
I know.
419 and 420 were Easter weekend. They didn't care.
Oh, all right. Let's get into the meat and potatoes here because we got about 25 minutes, 30 minutes. Let's talk about what we saw on Monday Night Raw. A lot of people, the fallout from WrestleMania. Roman's your new heavyweight champion. Okay, he beat CM Punk.
One of the best matches I've seen in a very, very long time. Now I know some people were saying it's near the Taker Shawn first match, and I would say it is close. I'd have to probably rewatch it to kind of gauge it, but I'll tell you this: with all the bullshit that they did with the Cody and Randy match leading up to it, and in it, even though that match was I thought was fine, and what they did and what they did with the Roman and Cody, Roman and Punk stuff leading up to it. It's crazy what just having a one-on-one match between Punk and Roman could do. And look at what they did. They did an incredible job there was no Rock. There was no other bullshit. And it was incredible.
I'm not taking anything away from what Punk and Roman did or what Cody and Randy did, but Punk and Roman are very, very, they're polar opposites in terms of how they tell a story and how they work. But and Shawn and Taker were for the most part as well.
But I think they sync up well though together.
When you get those two together, it's magic. And Cody and Randy, I didn't hate the match. There was a lot of bullshit. You're right. But I think everybody knew going into that Punk and Roman were going to over deliver. And they did. But CM Punk is no longer your world heavyweight champion. Roman Reigns is. CM Punk and Cody. Let's talk about this interaction. I had the fans kind of in a tizzy here. First of all, Cody's eye is bad. And that is a broken orbital bone that will more than likely require surgery to get fixed properly. I don't know what they're doing. And I want him
to wear that mask again.
Juice, I'm going to be honest with you. I don't think Cody's going to be able to wrestle.
I know you said that you thought he was going to relinquish the title, which could happen, but
I think it's unfortunate because, where we were going with this probably was going to be very, 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 very good. But I mean, I'm no doctor, but I think you can go look it up. I think the estimated recovery time for a broken orbital is probably 3 to 6 months at a minimum.
Now, right. But again, Undertaker, yes. And LeBron's not doing crossroads and cutters and shit.
Taker had surgery though, didn't he?
I'd have to look into that, but he had a broken orbital and he wore the mask. But I think how funny would it be for Cody to redo the plastic mask that he did and it just kind of go back to dashing? I don't know. It would be a great way to kind of play into that because that was part of the entrance, although those statues were interesting to say the least.
Those came straight from the WWE.
Full healing of the bone could take up to several months. The significant reduction in symptoms usually before 2 to 4 weeks. So let's see if it's a complete fracture.
Well, he did say on Instagram, I believe it was he said that the doctor said, well, you're not going to lose the eye, which was the most positive yet absurd thing he's ever heard from a doctor. So there's positivity there.
Sure. Whatever they decide to do, I just think that Cody and CM Punk is a big money match. A lot of people are like, I don't know if I want to see this. I think it is. And I think that people are like, oh, they're teasing that for Mania. I think that's too far away. And I get it. It's basically like whenever you want it, just let me know. But Punk was talking about, you never know when an opportunity is going to fall out of the sky. And to me, that's kind of almost signaling that they don't know.
He said it twice. He doubled down on that.
They don't know where Cody's situation is yet. They're probably evaluating all options. And at this point, it's going to be up to the talent and TKO and medical. But at the end of the day, if Cody and TKO and their medical department decide, hey, go for it, and something catastrophic happens, I would hate to see it. So I honestly think that this is a prediction, not a spoiler. I think Cody is probably going to either not wrestle on Backlash, which we'll get into, and maybe he takes that month off to hopefully heal, and then maybe you could see him not relinquish.
Well, he would have to wrestle at Night of Champions then? That's the next show in June. So that would give a lot of time. I could see him being at Backlash, but saying look, this is the situation, and maybe they create finally an actual stated number one contenders match, which we never see that anymore, where people go, this is the number one contenders match.
I legitimately missed that in WWE number one contenders.
Yeah, how hard is it to say? Well, instead we got eliminator matches in AEW. So
yeah,
they did a number one contender, Darby and Andrade.
Darby and Darby.
Well, AEW did. Yeah.
You guys, I want to bring up something to you guys. Something that nobody really is saying, but some people are saying. I just want to rack your brains. Roman Reigns is the World Heavyweight Champion, right?
Yeah.
Correct.
They created that belt because no one could beat Roman.
Yeah.
Well,
Well, no, they did. He was the champion for a long time, and once they chose to do another championship. Now I don't know if the reasoning was there. We really don't know.
So how do you disagree? Because remember, he had both the Universal and the World Heavyweight. Then he merged those, and then
when was the World Heavyweight created?
June of 23.
Yes,
June of 23.
Yeah, because it was by the time we got to Mania 40, like Priest and all those guys had it. I'm pretty sure it was summer of the previous year.
When was the Netflix deal announced?
I think it was it after 40? Because it was January of 25, so it wasn't. Yeah. I'd have to. I mean, the dates. I'd have to look into it. But no, I get what you're saying is that they wanted a championship. Yes.
WrestleMania 40 was 2024. Okay.
Yeah.
The World Heavyweight Championship was on that show. The World Heavyweight Championship was created because of two major reasons. One, USA Network was still hosting Monday Night Raw, and they were sick and tired of not having an actual champion, and they felt like they were being kind of looked at as a lesser than SmackDown. And they hold on a second, and they.
I agree with that. It is somewhat because of the Roman thing. It's not because they didn't want to take one off Roman, but he had both.
Sure. And Fox was paying an assload of money for SmackDown, and they had Roman, which makes sense. But this was all preempted. This was not no one could beat Roman, so we better create another championship. That's looking at it from a fan's perspective, and I understand that's the way it comes off. But the business wise of it is USA Network, NBC Universal was like, hey, what about us? We only get Roman a couple times a year, and we have no champion to call our own. They created the title. It also can separate the WrestleMania nights proper. And when the move to Netflix happened, they had a champion, and Netflix wanted a champion.
I only bring it up because one, like you said, as a fan, and I am the fan perspective on this.
Sure.
Is that you created this title because no one could beat Roman, and now Roman holds this very title that was created because no one can beat him. I only bring that up to ask you guys this. Is that a potential problem that Roman is still in the title picture, that we haven't really
Jordan, some of their best business was the bloodline, and it looks like they're going to start running that back.
I agree with you, but I do just want to point out that there's a small subsection that are like, man, this main event scene has not progressed in years. We still have some of the same faces.
Well, but look at it this way, Jordan. When did Roman lose after that bloodline thing? Mania 40. So it's been 2 WrestleManias without him in the focal point of the title scene, and now he gets it back, and I don't think this is going to be a 1,300-day reign. So I think it's a little different than what that was.
Not 13.
Well, you say long. I think it'll be – you don't think he'll lose it at SummerSlam?
No, I don't think so.
No.
Whoa.
I think he's holding it – I think it'll be a full year. I think he's holding it until next year's WrestleMania.
I could see him losing it at the Rumble if they want to put a match together before we get to
no, I think he's going to lose it at –
But I only ask you guys because
hold on. Listen. We need to talk about this. We have people who are complaining about Roman Reigns or Cody Rhodes being in the main, or CM Punk being in the main.
Still, they're still. You know what I mean?
Okay. Someone's got to explain to me. Go on. Off the top of your head, whatever. Who is more over than these gentlemen? Who? And don't say Obafemi, because I love me some Oba. He's not even. He's not.
Rhea Ripley.
He's got a rocket. Okay, yeah. Absolutely. Give over the rocket, which they have, but you're gonna have to let that's gonna boil. It's simmering right now, and the water's just about to boil.
Yeah, don't you want to play that up as much as you can and then pull the trigger? You know,
and you're like, it's the same.
I mean,
I didn't say that.
Okay,
one could argue.
I'm not using you. I'm everybody besides you saying it's the same main event bullshit scene that we've seen. Who the fuck else is over? Who else is over?
But that
Jacob Fatu will become over.
The onus is on you, the booker, not saying you, but the booker, the company, to get them over. Jacob Fatu is a hot commodity. Finn Balor, you could have warmed him up. You had plenty of time to warm. Drew McIntyre constantly is
we're going to get
Finn Balor and Roman Reigns, and I love me some Finn. Fergal, I'm sorry. But we're talking about
Braun Breaker could be one, but Braun's got to go through Seth first.
Hey, I ain't gonna lie to you. The streets love Finn. Finn
got
a
shit.
Well, the streets aren't booking.
Who's buying? If you line up Roman Reigns and Finn Balor and you have their T-shirts, who's selling more merch? I don't give a shit if the streets, the highways, the fucking crossways love Finn. I don't give a shit. Roman is your guy. Stop it.
Braun Breaker is next. Jacob Fatu is next. Drew McIntyre is probably just going to be the building block to get to the main event at this point. If Kevin Owens comes back, he could be a part of it. But they're building some stars. I don't know. I see Braun Breaker coming in. He's got to go through Seth, Yeah,
you know who sells a lot of merch? Danhausen. Danhausen sells a lot of merch. Now, he's not going to win the world championship.
I know that makes Jordan very, very happy.
But Danhausen, Fanatics people, I think WrestleVotes reported it, but there was some stuff circulating about the merch that had been sold over WrestleMania. Danhausen is insane, the amount of merch.
This Danhausen stock market bubble is going to burst because there's only so many Danhausen shirts.
You should go on Fanatics' socials. There's like 12 to 15 people with face paint doing the "You Are Cursed" thing, and that was just who they recorded. So whether or not you like Danhausen in the ring, I get it. But Danhausen is there.
You guys remember this?
And you say Fandango. You say it lasts. You say it has a shelf life, but all Danhausen needs to do is even adjust something and have a different type of face paint, and they'll sell 1 million more of that.
Hold on, wait. You guys remember this? Those are also great merch. Yeah, exactly. Sean Spears, 10.
Ty Dillinger.
Not even close.
I'm just saying, like, these things are
they're not the same, man.
They're not the same, but they're in the same.
No, what you're doing is what you're comparing Danhausen to is or chants that are over, not the talent that's over. Danhausen is over as a talent. He's not doing.
No, he's not.
Yes, he is.
No, he's not. No, now, because I got to get loud. No.
He didn't have a segment with John Cena. That wasn't talent. No, he's not over.
To say he's over as a talent.
No, how about this, Jordan?
Gimmick is over.
Okay, as a talent, that's what he's there for, though. He's not there to wrestle, Jordan. We're doing this again. But he's not there to wrestle. He's there for. What you saw at WrestleMania. What you saw with John Cena at WrestleMania with Danhausen is exactly why they brought Danhausen in.
There is a company that has where the best wrestle. And
yeah,
Hulk Hogan said it on his doc, I believe on Netflix. I had everything put together, but I needed a gimmick. And boy, did Hulk Hogan have some gimmick. Whether you like the man or not, I'm just telling you the man's gimmick was over. And then he revitalized himself with the NWO gimmick. Danhausen's gimmick is over 100%. Now, are they going to strap him up? Are they going to put him in the main event of WrestleMania and SummerSlam? No, they're not.
They don't need to.
They don't want to expose him.
Yeah, exactly. That was my whole point. He doesn't need to have a match because people realize it's not necessary. He never would have fit in AEW.
He is going to wrestle.
He has already. He already has. Yeah, sure.
He's going to wrestle here or there. But we're sitting here and you're comparing Finn Balor, Damian Priest. I see some people in the chat. Who else? Where else was it?
Well, someone said Drew is about to leave WWE.
Sure.
He's not happy.
Drew McIntyre,
had a huge deal.
Finn Balor, Damian Priest. I love all those guys. Good dudes, but not even anywhere near Roman, Cody, and Punk. Gunther and Seth have already won the World Heavyweight Championship. They've already strapped that, and they've rode that merch, and they've rode that horse, and they've rode them to ratings and buys and everything else like that. Braun Breaker, Obafemi, those are your next in line. We're going to see how they do. But I'm going to say this right now, all right?
Clip it,
go ahead. But Roman Reigns is probably one of, I don't know. I think he's one of one that right now has full autonomy on what he wants to do and what he doesn't want to do. And I think that there is a very good chance that TKO either approves or denies, Nick Khan and maybe Ari Emanuel approves or denies what he's going to be doing. And I think Roman makes suggestions and then it's pushed to creative. Because you mean to tell me that Roman and Jacob was slated for Backlash? Bullshit. It's Tampa. Roman wants to make his cousin, and he's going to. He's not going to crown him champion, but they're going to have a hell of a match, and they're going to see, can we do this with our family? Does our family draw a lot of money? And I believe they do. So Roman is going to go on a reign, no pun intended. And I think it's going to last past SummerSlam. Now, could Obafemi be next? Sure. But I think Roman's going to have programs with Jacob, Gunther, probably Seth. And then maybe he drops it to Oba at the Rumble or something. I don't know. Maybe Oba wins the Rumble. I don't know. I don't think that Roman Reigns is walking into WrestleMania Saudi as the world champion. I think he's taking on The Rock in Saudi Arabia. And I don't
without a title on the line.
Because it doesn't need it. But I'm telling you right now, Roman Reigns, in my opinion, has full control over what he does and what he doesn't. And he should. Because Roman Reigns last year was in a triple threat match and took an L. And what the hell did Roman do after that? Absolutely fucking nothing. And that's one of their biggest draws. So you're telling me that the business is better off without Roman at the top? I disagree.
Yeah, they need him up there, and they're kind of running back the bloodline thing where like Jacob gets a chance to prove himself, and whenever he inevitably loses, I'm sure it'll be a respectful thing, and who knows where that goes from there. But I think Roman's got a plan for the year, and by the end of when we get to WrestleMania next year, I think he very well could be right on where this. Well, you got to face the biggest part of our family, and who knows who's champion by then.
One person who may not make it to Mania, and we don't talk about this, we cannot not talk about this, and that is Brock Lesnar. Seemingly full-on retired at WrestleMania.
Sure.
Now, when I say seemingly, there are a little few things. He threw up the X. He put his.
I think he was celebrating New Jack, but go ahead.
Yeah, Brock Lesnar, infamous New Jack shooter.
Well, Paul Heyman, Paul Heyman is the New Jack shooter, so I mean, maybe he was showing us respect. But no, I get you.
New Jack, go ahead.
But what do you guys think? Is this a I speculate that this isn't a real retirement. I speculate that this is the second to last match he's gonna have. But Brock Lesnar seemingly out of WWE, seemingly retired from WWE. What did you guys think of the match itself? Did it make Oba?
Yes.
Are you happy with it? What do you think?
They accomplished everything they needed to accomplish, that being WWE, Brock Lesnar, and Oba Femi. Oba is a dog. Entrance has the crowd in the palm of his hand. He is going to skyrocket in this business unless something drastic happens, and I don't foresee it. He's got the look. He's got the character. He's got the gimmick. He can talk. A lot of people are like, he can't. He can. And Brock did well and did right by Oba Femi. And Brock Lesnar seemingly retiring leads me to believe that was so that people understood, because this was a brand new audience. Some people were watching this for the first time. They had no idea what this was, taking off gloves and boots. They're like, what the hell's going on? For the non-hardcore, the casuals who were watching this. And I think this was to implant into their brain, and the marketing behind it is that Brock Lesnar is seemingly retired. Now, Brock might want to be retired. I don't know. I don't have conversations with Brock Lesnar, and I don't have conversations with Paul Levesque. But I can tell you that there will be a lot of hype, a lot of build, and it makes a lot of storyline sense if Gunther and Brock have a match in Minneapolis where Gunther's favor is to retire the biggest legend that WWE has currently, and that is Brock Lesnar. Because Paul Heyman had a very interesting promo, and a lot of people don't listen. They're either on their phone or they're tweeting or they're talking. And if you listen to it, Paul Heyman said you need to put him in the forever, as he's one of those guys, which he is. But Gunther at WrestleMania had career killer and all this other stuff. Brock Lesnar basically called his own shot and retired, quote unquote. Gunther's not going to stand for that.
No, Gunther wants to put Brock Lesnar in the forever section. And I think that they set those pieces to start moving with the favor, with Gunther facing Seth, Gunther beating Seth, and he's like, hey, not only did I make this happen and I beat the guy you wanted me to beat, you not only owe me, but like you owe me big. And what bigger way, what better way? And it sets up where after Brock and did the retirement quote unquote thing, a lot of sympathy for Brock, a lot of babyface reactions for Brock. And that's exactly what you would need when you want to promote Gunther as this uber heel to retire Brock. I think it sets up perfectly.
Juice, beautiful. You don't want Brock Lesnar being booed out of the building at SummerSlam in his retirement match. You want Brock to get a standing ovation. You want the crowd and the people behind Brock. And this did this. How do I make people not want to boo this guy? Because they're going to cheer the shit out of Oba, which they did. So if Brock comes over and beats Oba, yeah, we can really get him as a heel, because it's like F you, dude. I didn't want you to win. But at the end of the day, what are you doing? You're stifling someone's push and rise just to save a guy who's out of here in 4 months? Nah, let's do this. And it was brilliant. And I would guarantee that this was Paul Heyman's idea.
You know, this I know that this is a mark of a good show, and I work with great people because I take notes, you know, on what to say and, you know, prepare. You guys have said everything that needs to be said. It's absolutely correct that I love that how you pointed out that Gunther isn't going to sit for this, right? Kayfabe rise. Gunther wants to be, hey, I called John Cena's shot. I called AJ Styles' shot. Who are you, Brock Lesnar? No. I call the shot. I tell you when you're done.
And there's no point for them to talk about it the night after WrestleMania. Let it all sink in. Let the fans emotionally come to grips that, man, he's gone. Then all of a sudden we're going to bring him back. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Brock's going to defend his honor and he's not done yet. Hell yeah. He's giving us one more match. God bless you, Brock. I love you, Brock. And then he gets beat. But then after that, I'm going to warn the WWE and TKO, you better do something with this son of a bitch because the people are not going to continue to come out in droves to watch Gunther retire people. You better figure it out. You better strap them up and you better hold on to it because people who are casuals that I talk to, my brother, one of my best friends, tells me Gunther sucks. Doesn't like him. He's boring.
I don't know how you exactly get there, but I would love if the things are all linear and Cody is not involved and that WWE title is not involved, Gunther retires Lesnar, Gunther somehow wins the world championship, Oba wins the Rumble, and you get that next crowning at WrestleMania. That could be something I could see.
There you go.
But it all depends on where the other pieces fall with, you know, Cody in that other title, where Roman wants to lose it because he's going to lose it at some point.
Sure.
So.
And a lot of people were coming from my head about Oba Femi. They were like, why isn't he on the SummerSlam card? Oba versus Randy works. Man, could you imagine beating Brock Lesnar and Randy Orton in 1 year? Holy shit. Or he could be
that would be more for his character than Gunther.
Or he could be the Intercontinental Champion. I mean, why not?
Oba could do a lot. I could see Oba doing a lot.
I mean, we don't need to immediately strap somebody up. Like, let the business come, which it has. Let the business continue to rise and let Oba ride that momentum. You want to set him up for success.
Instead of an
IC into the wolves and be like, here, now you're our champion because you're over with the crowd. All right, cool. But I mean, and if the guy fails, then what? Oh, he's a failure. You don't want to do that. Set the business up for ultimate success. Roman's that guy. Punk Cody is that guy. And then once we're at the tippy top, let Oba take it and take it to another level. That's what you got to do.
What I would do instead of giving Oba maybe the IC title is I'd give Oba a shot in the triple threat maybe, and he doesn't get pinned, but he was in a world title match. And it's like, God, I was so close. And man, he was right there. But some, you know, a heel won or something else happened. You got to keep him up there because I think if he wins the Intercontinental title, who the hell's going to beat him for that, Drew?
Well, true. I mean, Gunther went on a hell of a run. Why can't Oba with the Intercontinental title? I mean,
yes, but Gunther didn't beat Brock Lesnar at WrestleMania.
Well, I get that, but what I'm saying is, I mean, listen, if Oba wants to break Gunther's record as being the longest Intercontinental champion, I'm here for it. I don't think that's the path. What I am going to say is, I could absolutely see Roman and Oba at SummerSlam, but Oba's going to come up short. So I asked the both of you, is that what you do? Or would you rather would you rather have Oba have a big victory over Randy or name another big talent? And then he goes into the Rumble and wins that son of a bitch. And then he wins.
I'd much rather see Oba go into SummerSlam and go against, well, here's the thing. In a perfect world, I'd love Oba to go against Roman and just run back Rock versus Brock in 02 and have Oba win the title. I would honestly love to see that. Well, the parallels are there. But I also wouldn't hate if they had the match at SummerSlam. Oba loses, and you can find ways for him to lose. And even if he loses to Roman Reigns, it's not like he's losing to some chump. And then Oba can build back up in the fall, win the Rumble, and then, you know, off to the races.
You want to get Oba even more over and get more sympathy with the fans. Oba comes out on Monday Night Raw after SummerSlam. Because I would assume that they'll probably main event night too, right? Well, let's just say he comes out on Monday Night Raw after WrestleMania or SummerSlam. And Oba's music hits, Roman's music hits, Oba shakes his hand and says, you know what? At SummerSlam, you were the better man, but you're a marked man, and I almost had you. And then he walks back out. And I think that the crowd will be like, we're behind that guy. Roman's time has come. It's time for him to go. But you don't do that in a matter of 4 months. I could see the whole Rock and Roman or Rock and Brock thing. But what Brock was doing with Rock is a little different. Rock was done going to film movies. Roman's not going anywhere.
I understand. Well, I understand, but I can't deny the parallels when you see, the young Simone guy who's on top, and you get the next big thing crowned by Michael Cole saying, maybe he can be the guy and take it from him. But I could also see a match, just the match at all. Sure. Would benefit Oba, win or loss, especially if he gives Roman the respect the following night. That does a lot, because Roman put even in a tweet like, "Hey, I hate you, Punk, but damn it, like that was incredible."
Sure,
all that goes a long way for Oba.
If Roman, reciprocates the respect, that goes a long way for Oba too. And listen, a lot of wrestling fans want to do this in a microwave, but I ask you, you crown Oba at SummerSlam.
No,
where do you go from there?
It's tough to see that. Well, what do you do with Roman then? What is he just going to go away? No, your point. He's not going to do movies. He's going to stay.
He's staying.
I think with Oba, it's a little it's different, right? Because you can't push him too hard, because then what's left after,
right?
But you can't go too slow, because he's such a monstrous character,
sure,
right? So this is where, if you ask me, they would benefit from another heel faction. Give him a side quest, a couple of people to run through, right? That help him continue to get over, that just put him up on another level on the card there. And maybe it's low-hanging fruit, but maybe that faction is the Bloodline. Maybe we see him go through a Jimmy, a Jay, or the MFT, they finally all get back together. But it has to be slow enough to where it's incremental, but not too slow to where it's like, what are we doing with this guy?
Well, and you got to remember too, for me, I think that you got Jacob Fatu now on Raw. That's official, because it seems like he's been moved. Okay.
Yeah.
You had some debuts on Raw. You got some heavy hitters on Raw right now in terms of the scene in the World Heavyweight Championship. I think you got to move Punk to SmackDown, because I think that Punk Cody thing is going to happen sooner rather than later. Could I see it happening at WrestleMania? Sure. In Saudi Arabia? Sure. But I think
I'd love to see Punk on SmackDown. I think it would revitalize it, especially when you do the 3-hour thing.
And I think you have to, because Punk leaving opens up a huge spot for Obafemi, and I think that's what you need.
Who's the heel in that dynamic? Cody or Punk?
You don't need to. You don't need to have a heel.
You know what? Punk. More than likely, what's going to happen with that is the fans are going to have to figure out who to cheer and who to boo. And I mean, they kind of did that with Punk and Roman. I mean, Roman really wasn't.
Punk and Roman, they ran it as kind of, no one's really the bad guy here.
Right, but you take CM Punk off of Monday Night Raw, which I think is happening, and then you put Oba in his spot, and then you took Jacob off of SmackDown. I think there was a couple other people who came over, and you put Punk and Rhea essentially on SmackDown. I think that's a big get for SmackDown, and they need it. And Oba needs the crowded landscape of that World Heavyweight title. Well, he needs the crowded landscape to kind of dissipate. When you got CM Punk and Roman Reigns, those are two mountain blocks for Oba to get through.
Well, yeah, and what the main event segment's going to be when you got those two horses at the top, and it's easier to have a guy like Oba or guy like Punk kind of shift over to a SmackDown when there's 3 hours. There's so much depth on that roster. To have Punk interact with.
Would you guys be confident in saying that Oba wins by 2027?
Yes.
Well, I would just say look at it by will Obafemi be world champion by the end of WrestleMania Night 2 next year? I think that's
yes, that's a good
because I think WWE likes to crown people at the biggest events, and even though I'd like to see it at SummerSlam, I think it's more likely at WrestleMania, especially if the Rock Roman thing happens, because that doesn't need a title.
Here's my I'll say my 3 main events for WrestleMania in Saudi Arabia. Now, I can't put my finger on Steve Austin working in Saudi Arabia. Obviously, if they offer him a boatload of money, he's probably going to take it. But I'm going to say it's Cody and Punk either at SummerSlam or they'll run it back at WrestleMania in Saudi. I think Obafemi either takes on Gunther or Seth Rollins for the World Heavyweight Championship, and they crown Oba in Saudi Arabia at the biggest show that they have.
I can see that.
And I believe that you will get The Rock and Roman Reigns. That's just me.
Because Obafemi Seth, honestly, just as a match from bell to bell, good God, I want to watch that. Yeah. I want to watch that.
But let's have a little patience with Oba, because I think Oba's got a rocket to him, and I think again, I know you want some things in a microwave, but I mean, if you could test it, you could test the Oba Roman thing at SummerSlam and have Oba lose and see if the crowd still holds on to him, which I think they will. I mean, the aura that this man has when he enters a building with the crowd is insane.
I think a lot of fans lose sight of an incredible performance in a loss does just it. Look, Matt Cardona has said it 1,000 times. It's more important to get over, even if you don't go over. And I think he could, establish a lot, even in a loss, that he would probably still get with a win. People are still going to love him.
What gets you guys and girls out of your house to go buy a ticket? The chase from Oba. If we do it in 4 months, man, I feel like we left a lot of money on the table.
And that's what I was going to say. That's WWE's thinking is they know they got this guy and they know they got a lot. Why not wait till WrestleMania? You could easily make that happen as long as everything still aligns health-wise.
And the big thing with the Rock and Brock comparisons is, like I said, Rock was splitting for movies. Vince was in a position where I got to crown somebody. So let me crown the next big thing. He's over on SmackDown, all right? And then I'll create a Raw title and all this other stuff, which they did was the World Heavyweight Championship. But right now, everybody and their mother's invested in Oba. You keep them strong. You keep them strong for a year, make a lot of money. The chase is what people come out of their house for. It's either the chase or somebody getting their ass beat that people want to see. A lot of people paid a lot of money to see somebody beat the shit out of Hulk Hogan. A lot of people paid money to see people beat the shit out of Triple H. A lot of people paid a lot of money to see John Cena chase. Then a lot of people paid a lot of money to see John Cena get his ass whooped, and it never happened. But they still took your money. So at the end of the day, same thing with Roman. That long reign, everybody was showing up, and they were like, this is it. This is it. God damn it. This is not it. Right. And then they finally did it at WrestleMania 40, and the place was unglued. I love everybody that does this type of stuff, and I love the fan interactions and whatever, but we got to stop booking for a microwave. The meals suck out of a microwave. They suck. Go get a fried chicken dinner from Hungry Man, put it in your microwave, and then go get a fried chicken dinner from a well-established restaurant down the street. I guarantee you the one from the well-established restaurant is going to taste better.
Even though you're right, I will not accept Hungry Man slander on this show.
Listen, I used to eat Hungry Man's, but you know what? My palate expanded and I grew up 30 years ago. Grow up. Hungry Man's are good in a pinch. I don't want to hate on Hungry Man.
Come on. We're working class Americans here. Come on.
Sure.
It's hard out here.
I'm sorry, ramen noodles in the microwave still hit for me.
Well, I think
come on.
I mean, we're not going to do that. I mean, listen, my go-to were when I was in high school and even a little bit in elementary school, we'd get banquets, we'd get Hungry Man, and it was always you could keep that Salisbury steak and that meatloaf shit. I was always fried chicken, mashed potatoes, and corn.
Yes, that's the one I'm going to. Yeah,
you hit me with the nostalgia banquet,
right.
man.
With the brownie.
Got the college.
Yeah, the brownie. Yeah.
That took me.
Yeah, and what was Marie Callahan's did like a.
Oh no! Right? Let's relax. Marie Callender.
Whatever the fuck it was.
What the hell you said?
If you guys, we can still stay on Rumble Mania, but we did have a title defense last night from one Darby Allin.
Yes, we did.
Yes, let's talk about Dynamite. I truly believe that last night was everything you would want from Darby winning the championship. I think it was very well done. Tommaso Ciampa was a fantastic first opponent. Darby is defending the title week after week, it seems like now, which a lot of people predicted, and I like it. It's smart booking. Brody King is up next.
It's not even that it's smart booking. I see people complaining that it's like, oh, he's treating this like a TV title. No, Darby's character is a guy that wants to fight every week. So what the hell do you want from him?
And he's also the guy when it's all
and it's exciting.
Yeah. He's also the guy when it's all said and done that have given opportunities to guys that the fans want and they haven't gotten them. You know, Ciampa. Now you're going to get Brody King. This is all going to lead with a match with Max, I believe, at Double or Nothing. And maybe Max is holding the TNT and the World Championship at that point. Who knows? I don't know. But what I'm saying is that I like the way this is done. I like the booking. The match was everything you would want in an AEW match. And in a Darby Allin match, the chemistry was off the charts. And I think this could be a very, very fun run, truthfully. I do.
I think one thing I wanted to point out is Darby, for being as young as he is and as green in the business as he is, and that's not, he's not some 25-year-old.
I don't think he's green now, though.
I only say green in the sense of like he's not some 20-year vet. He's not some 30-year vet who's been doing this all his, for
I think he's been wrestling for over a decade. I think.
I like that
for a while.
He is making people, right? I like that, he helped make Ciampa in AEW. Not that Ciampa needed to be made or anything like that. People are respect and like Ciampa. But I saw more reactions about Ciampa's performance than I did see about Darby's win. And I thought that was great. That is what you should want out of a fighting champion. This gimmick, this idea, I'm going to be a fighting champion. It's not necessarily about the title. People are saying it devalues the title. No. It doesn't devalue the title. It brings value to your opponent.
And it brings value to your weekly TV.
Right. Because now if Ciampa is now a contender. Ciampa can go with the best. He can last with the top of the top, the cream of the cream. Brody King, this is his second go at a world title. This is now going to prove that he can hang and he can go and stay with the top of the top. He solidified in the main event scene. I'm pretty sure the next and the third defense will probably be against Andrade. I feel like Andrade is going to throw his name in the hat and be like, hey, look, I came this close. Now that you got the title, let me get a go at it, right? It's creating stars by proxy. And I love that. When you're able to push somebody without having to really push them. All you have to do is put them in a match and let them perform. Oh, Ciampa is now a star without a story because of his performances. And that is one thing AEW does really, really well.
Well, yeah, there's a wrestling company and then there's a sports entertainment company. And I know a lot of people are just like, and listen, WWE has some really good pro wrestling. I mean, you saw it with Punk and Roman. You even saw it with Cody and Randy. I think they told a great story. But
match was very, very good. It was really good.
If you want to see bell to bell, the absolute knockdown dragouts and just absolute fantastic wrestling, it's AEW. Where they lack is storylines and stuff like that at times.
But they're building on that, I think. They've been around since 2019, and their focus is on in-ring. And I think you'll never see a show like an AEW, TV or pay-per-view anywhere else. And I think that they're growing with their stories. I think they've done a lot better.
Listen, Tony books for people like Tony, and that's it. And he likes what he likes, and that's it.
Sicko.
So I thought Darby's match, I even thought Dynamite, the Cope and Christian thing, was very smart. How do we goad FTR into another title match? Well, you just got it. We'll retire. What heel team is not going to take them up on that? They're going to take them up on that. There's a lot of things on this show that I thought were hits, truthfully. And I didn't do a quick review because the week has completely kicked my ass and I've been busy with a lot of different things. But
how dare you not do that?
I'm going to tell you, I think the Cope and Christian thing with FTR that was a solid way to get another title shot where it made sense. Samoa Joe's back. Hook's back. The title match with Darby, Brody King, Max, and the Jet, Kevin Knight. All good shit. The show was good. And Darby being this champion that defends the title on Dynamite works for me, brother. It does. It works for me.
Oh, no.
I saw some people being like, how crazy is it that, like, even with Ciampa's incredible run with NXT and Gargano, that, like, he can never even have, like, the blood and, like, the little extra drama to it. And the first big moment like this, and he gets to do it with Darby on a mainstay thing. It's like, look what we're tapping into. Look what we can unlock with AEW. Ciampa gave it his all for the black and gold brand, and yet he still found another gear in AEW, and I love that.
Yes.
Like that's it's just adding.
The way you put that. Yes.
It's another, and that's I've said that with a lot of people. Like Kevin Owens is a perfect guy for AEW. Certain guys would be perfect for this brand.
There's a lot.
Right. So once you get one of those guys in there, it's like, well, look what it's another level that they're going into, and I love it.
Yeah. All right, let's talk about something before we head off the air here. Let's talk about WrestleMania, Saudi Arabia, Nashville, all this other stuff.
And I guess Night of Champions just got announced, so we can bring that up as well.
Yeah. So Night of Champions is headed to Saudi Arabia. I believe it's in June. It's a day before Forbidden Door.
June 27th.
Yeah,
Saturday.
and Forbidden Doors the 28th, I believe. So again, WWE and Saudi Arabia continue their relationship. I don't understand why people are shocked about this at this point. I understand there's something going on in the country and in the world right now, but at the end of the day, WWE, Saudi Arabia is probably very safe, I would assume right now.
I just wouldn't assume. I would allow for, if WWE thought that there was a problem, they would not go there.
Right. And maybe they know something that we don't. Do I wish that maybe they would take a break from Saudi until Mania? Sure, but you know what? It's not my money, and it's not.
And they're still in this agreement, right? They're still within this 10-year agreement, so they're going to try to fulfill as many as they possibly can. Hell, even when COVID happened, they were still doing it. You know, they were always going to do it, and they're going to fulfill that requirement.
Yeah. So this shouldn't be a shock to some people. Jordan?
No. Simply put, it's not a shock. I mean, it's WWE. Like, I'm not like, I don't say that in a bad manner, but like, I'm not shocked. It's almost a mute point for me.
There you go.
At this point,
any other trending topics we want to talk about before we head on?
There is one in particular that I think I think you may were talking about, but it seems like this Paramount Warner Brothers merger is complete.
Yeah, I didn't expect that not to be complete.
I'll just ask because I'm gonna get asked to ask you this.
Sure.
We've said it before, you'll say it again. Does this affect AEW?
Yeah, I think it does. Does it affect AEW closing their doors? No. Something catastrophic would need to happen to the Khan family for AEW to close their doors. And at the end of the day, AEW will find distribution in terms of their television and their pay-per-views. Whether it's on this platform or not, I don't know. If they stay here, then AEW and the Khans are in business with Saudi Arabia, which a lot of American businesses are right now.
Yeah.
We'll have to wait and see. I don't know. Do I think, out the gate, does it tell me that there's an issue? No. Should people be happy about this that are AEW fans? Possibly. Again, I don't know how much this new company, this merged company, is going to value AEW and professional wrestling. We're going to find out.
Yeah. Other than that, no.
What about the Street Profits? They look damn good, huh?
Oh, I'll tell you, the Street Profits are back. That was great. Shout out to Montez Ford and Bianca Belair. Congratulations to
Montez. Put in a lot of work over the last 6 months.
Put in a lot of work. Congratulations to him. I like to see the Street Profits back. We got some roster shakes ups. One thing also seeing we're going to look forward to. Who do you think's jumping over? Because you already said Punk will probably jump over to SmackDown.
Yeah.
Do you got anybody immediately that you will possibly see tomorrow? Because
I think Blake Monroe will be on SmackDown.
Well, they were teasing at SmackDown. Anything could happen in the World Wrestling Federation. They're bringing that up. So was it USA Network or something? Someone brought up like. It was a tweet, and it was just like, wow, who knows what can happen on SmackDown?
I saw Ethan Page on Raw.
I
truly believe that you'll probably see, and Joe Hendry's on Raw too.
Yes.
So I think Blake Monroe is a safe bet. So Ruka was on Raw too. Shout out to Weezy.
Should I buy this? Should I go to this show? Should I buy this ticket?
It depends. I can't.
If only you knew someone that had an insight on how much tickets could be.
I thought for the longest time, truthfully, that Tony D'Angelo would already be a part of the main roster. I think they're going to give him a run on in NXT as
the I think he'll get an NXT championship run because I'm trying to basically ask who do you think's getting called up essentially? Who do you think's getting called up? Who do you think's
for SmackDown? For SmackDown, I'm going to go with Ricky Saints. I'm going to go with Blake Monroe. And if I had to throw a wild card in there, I'll go Nikita Lyons. How about that?
And remember, it's 3 hours, so they could use some extra talent to kind of flourish in there.
I think Miles Bourne and but they're both champions right now. So Tony D'Angelo and Miles Bourne would be shoo-ins, but I just don't think NXT is going to lose them right now. So That's where I'm at.
I got a question for you, Drew. John Cena speculated that, Backlash could have something crazy to happen, especially within the realm of Club WWE. And I know we don't know any prices or anything, but what do you? And we talked about it, and you were like, "Oh, I think they're gonna do a launch here at Mania weekend," but nothing really happened other than the promos for it. So what do you think is going to be talked about? What could Cena do at Backlash? What is this Club WWE thing? Like, could it be? If to your knowledge, I'm sure you don't know.
Well, I mean, listen, I'm not going to disparage people from however they want to spend their money. In terms of ticketing wise, WWE's very much a dynamic priced ticket company. Their tickets come out at a certain price during the on sales and pre-sales, and then as the market dictates, they lower them.
Which, by the way, I got an email saying that the tickets for VIPs at SummerSlam are getting snatched up pretty quick.
Yeah, for $16,000 for row 2.
Damn. Well,
I
guess I'll cancel those plans.
$16,000 for row 2, brother. No thanks. Anyways, and the other ones I believe were like $35,000.
Oh God, that's a new car.
The front rows I think were the ones that like Kerry and Superfan Smiles or whatever his name is. I want to say that those are like, I want to say they're 35. Let me see. I don't know. I gotta look at the email here.
3,500 I'd be in for.
Yeah, right.
Too rich for my blood.
All right. 25,000 for Kerry and the green Smiles face guy shirt. So, and whoever else is there, the beard guy and everything else like that we see time after time. So God bless him. And I think row 2 16,000, or the one off is 16,000. So no thanks. The Club WWE stuff is going to be very interesting. I don't. Every team, every league, every organization has this like fight club or fan club or like exclusivity jet up
fight club.
Well, that's what UFC's called.
We can't talk about that.
What? Oh yeah, right. So for me, it's like I don't know what they're going to offer. I don't think the juice is worth the squeeze, but I don't know what they're going to cost yet. So,
the Club WWE, it's a great idea in practice. Like I said, we've talked.
I'm on the wait list, so I'm just curious. I want to get that email saying like, okay. Well, yeah, because it's free. I want to see what the hell they're going to offer. I don't know.
Hey, if you want gold access, it's $699.
Do you think it's going to be a monthly fee or a yearly fee?
Or yearly? Yeah, literally. I was just about to ask.
The one thing that might get them, and they'll probably steal this, these sons of bitches, because I've had my idea stolen before. But the one thing that might get people to sign up for Club WWE is if Club WWE members get exclusive access to house shows in terms of they can view them on their television or their computer.
Oh, that would be awesome. Although I think people would ruin it by recording it and airing it, and then the whole thing gets blown up anyway.
Yeah. Next thing you know,
I believe they're going on some European tour. So if you could get access to that, where it's or you can get the NXT live house shows, or you can get the summer tour where they're in Italy or whatever, and you could actually view it, night after night. I think that would entice people.
Because if you can get anything on a house show, because we all know how house shows are.
House shows are fun.
They're 1,000 times more fun than a regular TV show. You put that out for Club WWE, I ain't gonna lie. Whatever, I would consider it. I may not buy it, but I consider it because it's another incentive. It's another.
Sure. If you listen, unprecedented access to house shows and stuff like that, you might get me depending on the cost. But just because I like to consume whatever I can consume.
Well, that's big bucks. Baydala can afford anything in this economy.
Any questions that we have here?
I know someone brought up who do I think is better, Copen Cage or Harlem Heat? Harlem Heat was a 10-time WCW Tag Champ, so I have a soft spot for them. I think ultimately, though, Booker T probably outshines Harlem Heat, and Copen Cage outshines Harlem Heat as a team.
I'm a big Harlem Heat guy. I really am. But
epic theme song, because that turned into Booker T's theme song.
Well, and I just think that they were like the gear, everything was just on point.
Yeah, they wore.
And they had Sherry.
Yeah, everything.
I love them because people didn't realize they had a whole like low key homage to Too Cold Scorpio with their gear, and then Booker doing the Harlem Hangover which is pretty much Scorpio Sky or Two Cold Scorpios move. So I love just the fact that the history of Black wrestling. And then 2, I really loved it because I have an older brother, and when we watched WCW, we were Harlem Heat.
There you go.
So I always thought that was cool.
I love me some Harlem Heat. For me, I think Cope and Cage or Edge and Christian had a bigger impact in the tag division. But Harlem Heat is and I've caught a lot of slack for this, but they're like top 7 of my tag teams of all time.
Well, you also think of this though, Harlem Heat, they were done 99, and Edge and Christian really didn't have
95 to 99, right?
Yeah. So in coping, Edge and Christian, whatever, they were kind of
98.
Well, yes, but let's just call it what it is. Like No Mercy 99 was that first ladder match.
Sure.
And that's where they started popping off. So it was, if anything, you can't really compare the two because one led into the other, and it was a different type of wrestling by the time Edge and Christian got there. And they innovated a wrestling style that Harlem Heat never would have probably entertained. I can't see Stevie Ray was in a War Games match, but I can't see him in a TLC match. I'm sorry. All respect to Stevie Ray.
They're saying I'm being at Harlem Heat or Steiner Brothers. Harlem Heat.
Harlem Heat.
Yeah. Come on, man. Harlem Heat.
Harlem Heat for me.
Yeah, come on. I mean,
it's a toss-up for me. I'm sorry.
Unless we're talking Harlem Heat 2000 with Big T, it's gonna be Harlem Heat.
I think Big T should be in the WWE Hall of Fame. Not as Big T, but as Ahmed Johnson.
Wow.
Yeah. He should be in the Hall of Fame. Come on.
Win this out the mud. That's hilarious. That
all right. I mean, I'll entertain this. I'm gonna say like top 5 for me.
What, tag teams?
Yeah, I'll go. And it's not.
It's for you.
Yeah, it's not in any order. I'm gonna go the Dudleys, LOD.
It's just tough for me to differentiate between any of the 3 teams that were in TLC matches. I kind of blend them all as like one entity.
I'll do like a top. I'll do 7 just to
so you can put those 3 in there.
No, I'm gonna do a top 7. Dudleys, LOD, Edge and Christian, the Hardys, the New Age Outlaws for sure, at least for me. I'm gonna go APA. I really dug the APA.
Wow.
And I'll have to go. I guess maybe I'll put Harlem Heat in there. It's either Harlem Heat or it's Demolition. So
did you say the Hardys?
Yes. Dudleys, LOD, Edge and Christian, Hardys. I have New Age Outlaws. I have APA, and I'm gonna go with. I like Hall and Nash, but I'm gonna go Harlem Heat there. That's me. And I'm a big Hart Foundation fan, but I want to say like that was quick too. Brett was kind of on his own very shortly after that.
True. Oh yeah, he was on his own a lot quicker than I would have anticipated. He had quite the run.
Yeah. Jordan, you want to do yours and then we'll get out of here?
I'll do 5 tag teams of all time. I'm gonna go Harlem Heat 5, Edge and Christian 4. I'm then going to go the Hart Foundation 3. I'm a bit of an old school guy when it comes to wrestling, tag team wrestling. So then I will go Tully and Arn 2, and then number 1 because they created the pop. But I'm gonna go LOD just because from all of those teams, most of your favorites have gotten something from one of those 5 teams.
There you go. There you go. Juice, you want to do yours, then we'll get out of here?
Oh boy, no particular order. And it's tough for me to relegate the 3 TLC teams by themselves.
That's why I didn't even. Put them in there.
If I put them in there, it's all as honorable mention as they all were. Like they're huge and they're immensely important. I hate to just put them in, but let's just put them as one. All 6 as one team because it's tough. If I had to pick out of those 3, I'd take honestly the Hardys would be the most important out of the 3. I'm sorry. As a tag team, Edge had a lot more stuff as a solo.
Dudley's, I mean, none of them really had single stars. Go ahead. It's your list.
No, Jeff. You're right. You're right. But it's Steiners, Road Warriors. Man, it's tough to go against Harlem Heat.
WCW.
Oh boy. Well, Steiners are WWE as well. Road Warriors are WWE as well. Harlem Heat was
Road
not.
Warriors made their name in NWA, but
I'm fully aware, but I'm saying like it's not just WCW guys.
Go ahead.
Man, it is tough to not pick the
UA
brain
Gallows
busters.
aren't here. I mean, they had the crowd popping.
Yeah, but okay. So what am I gonna pick? Enzo and Big Cass next? I don't think so. I need some in-ring stuff for me.
How dare
you asked me, pal.
Go ahead.
I don't know. I'm just gonna come off like a shill. I like Sting and Lex Luger as a tag team.
That's it for us, folks.
That'll.
I mean, listen, I mean, that's like me picking the Rock and Sock Connection. I thought they were fun, but
yeah, well, I'm just thinking outside the box, and everybody's picked other stuff. I could go to ECW and pick the Eliminators or the Gangstas. There's some good teams in there because Dudley's for sure are probably the most decorated team out of all.
Is very underrated. I think that
they were
true, but
as an act and in ring.
But I prefer JBL, and I prefer like the All American Ron Simmons from the '90s. If I had to pick like out of those entities, I don't know. I'm sorry.
You don't like Football Helmet Ron, or what was it, Roman Helmet Ron?
Farouk Assad. No, I'm not in. Although I think they made a figure of that, but they make a figure of anybody nowadays.
I just got my son the Mr. Perfect figure. It's Kurt Hennig, though. It's from
yeah, hell yeah! With the AWA title, I wanted to get that, but purely for that championship, because I don't think they released it anywhere else.
Well, he watched SummerSlam '91, and he was like, "Oh, Mr. Perfect's awesome!" And
yeah.
I was leaving for WrestleMania, and I bought it and put it under his bed. He found it before I left. The son of a bitch.
Did he? I was just about to ask, how did that go? Because I remember you told me. That's funny. Get him to watch WrestleMania 10, brother versus brother. I want to see what
he's seen that. The next thing that I'm gonna show him is I think is Perfect and Bret Hart at King of the Ring '93.
That's my favorite match. I've watched it over 100 times, and I think it's better than their SummerSlam match. Especially if you watch it. If you have him watch the promo beforehand where they talk to Mean Gene and they talk about how both of their dads and which dad was better.
Dad was better than dad, I remember.
It's incredible stuff. So I would suggest that.
All right, boys, wrap it up. Give plugs and go.
Juice.
Go ahead, Jordan. Go ahead, Jordan.
Oh, well, thank you. You can find me on the Wrestle Collective podcast here in a few hours, where we're going to be expanding something we talked about here, and that is a lot of the gross entitled fan behavior. Leave some of these people alone. Leave these stars alone. So, because as fans, we want to give our fan perspective on that. So you can find us on the Wrestle Collective podcast here on Wrestle Collective Weekly podcast, here on YouTube, on the Wrestle Collective YouTube channel. If you want to follow me in my insane tweets, you can find me at slick_flair91, where I am typically just tweeting my life away. So, Juice, where can everybody find you?
Well, first of all, Hannibal makes a great point. I should have not neglected the Young Bucks as one of the best tag teams. Look, I've been a fan of them forever. I went to California to see that PWG because they were there. So I got a lot of history with the Young Bucks, and I should have put them in there as well. But, I digress. You guys put me under pressure. Juicebox with Juice Springsteen every single week.
Fantastic tag team. I'm just giving you shit. Go ahead.
No, people could put FTR up there, the more titles that they win. But, yeah. Juice Box with Juice Springsteen every single Friday. We'll probably just recap WrestleMania this week and the goings on in and outside of the ring this week. As always, at Juicy Steen on Twitter, argue with me about WCW or some other crazy wrestling takes. So I'm here for it all.
There you go. That's Juice. That's Jordan. I am at Andrew Baydala. Make sure you like, subscribe, and follow. Make sure you send me your moronic takes on X, and I can call you a brain dead idiot, or I could agree with some of your takes. It's really up to you.
Stack marbles on the freeway, smoke cigarettes backwards.
Yep. You put your shoes on the wrong feet, but it is what it is. All right, boys and girls, we appreciate it. Make sure you like, subscribe, and follow. Thank you for always joining us. I think we had I don't know the exact number, but it was over 300 at one point. So thank you. We appreciate it. Enjoy the rest of your week, and we'll catch you guys and girls down the road.